Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show, presented by J&J Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
All right, so this was just a test for that. Sorry, this was just the intro was playing there, but I'm here with David. David's running this tonight. He wants to do an interview just for you guys at home that watch the show normally or know the show. So we did this way so that we could make this happen. We were having some technical difficulties, so we are streaming this on our channel. There, you guys can still watch. Still a lot of fun with this one, but we just wanted to preface that in the beginning. But David, go right ahead.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. All right, everyone. I am here with our guest here for this next interview on the 3000 Hangouts. Please welcome Tristan. How are you doing?
Yeah, how are you?
I am doing good here on this afternoon here as we're recording this for this episode of the 3000 Hangouts. And we'll be asking you some good questions here, getting to know you here on the YouTube page because for those who don't know who Justin is, he is a podcaster and the owner of the Airway Kingdom Network that he has created himself. And we are now officially partnered with that network, so thank you for that once again.
Sure.
And without further ado, I'll ask you this first question.
Mhm.
Tell us about yourself and what do you do for a living currently?
So I don't want to say exactly how old, getting too old. I currently work a couple of pretty stable jobs. I'm kind of working on also finishing up my degree. And actually I started more so since we're talking the shows of the podcast there, that's sort of been a side project that's been going on for the last couple of years. We've had some partnerships, we've had some paid sponsorships and some affiliations that we've been a part of now that's actually grown, which is what led to the network idea. The network idea was to look for other like-minded individuals who, like you have, your channel trying to get noticed and get out there. We've got quite a few of us that have much larger shows that have a lot of huge fan base. So we like to network to kind of help each other with pumping up ratings, if you will. So, but yeah, I spend a lot of time doing that. I produce a lot of the shows. I do a lot of the artworks for the shows. I do have my friend and partner who works with me that does a lot of the work there that you guys, if anybody has seen the show before, has seen. He's been on Big Hoss, as he's known. I'm also known as Sam Crow on the show. But yeah, so got quite a lot on the docket, quite a busy schedule. So more so than I like sometimes.
Understood. And so I know you're the one who started this network, but was there anybody else who helped you start this network on your side?
Yeah, so my friend who I mentioned, my friend who's also a business partner too, goes as Big Hoss on this show, a couple of shows that we have. The idea was, in short, we had talked. We got to know each other during the COVID period when we were all in lockdown several years ago now. Hard to believe. But he had done some podcasting before. I began to have an interest in looking at doing that. And so we sort of kind of had the same mindset. We wanted to collab and do a show together, which we did. We had a lot of ideas. So one show turned into 2, turned into 3, and we're now up to about, actually, we've got more than that now. We're more than 10 shows we offer there. And then, of course, we had other folks, affiliates. But yeah, he's kind of a lot of the other part of the half of our duo there, part of our production studio that we have there as well. And again, he does a lot of the on-air stuff and a lot of promoting and things like that too. But yeah, it's just mostly him and I, the primary team.
And how many years you've been doing this network for?
So the network itself, we've been podcasting for about, I think this is, what did we say? This is going on year 4, I think. The network itself is relatively new. We had got that idea over the last, what are we in now? February. I want to say the idea for that started right before the holidays. And in essence, it was just we realized we had a lot of friends that wanted to collab, and we wanted to sort of have one basic umbrella of where people would recognize us for, us and other shows that we had. So the network idea came in. One of our friends actually had this idea. I based it off of is like having a television network where we have like the old days. You have the TV guide where you saw what shows were lined up during the week, different time slots. And so
Yeah,
that's kind of what led to the idea of, hey, let's make this a network so we can feature all the shows that are affiliated with us, as well as like now expanding to newer talent that we're adding. So we have time slots for everybody.
understood. And that that's with the Network 1000, it was originally just called Davis 1000, but
Hmm.
uh, back in I believe it was 2022, um, I was helped with an idea of something like that, and that's how it changed to the Network 1000 year long.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, um, let me see, and of course my schedule is a little bit different. We have the winter schedule, the spring, summer, and fall. Like it's different schedules all year round, basically. Um,
Hmm.
so now tell us if we can think of somewhat most of them. What shows are on your network other than my show right now? But other than mine, like what shows are on your
Yeah, I
network?
can actually. I have I kind of do this on our shows. I'll flash. We do have artwork. So in addition to, I'm gonna throw up one of these. I know I got a bunch of different ones. Let's see if I get the right one. Which one is your? That's the
That's my
network.
yep,
Is that the official?
yep, yep. That's
So
my logo.
yeah, there we go. So there we obviously we add you have him coming on as essentially the newest talent. We feature your show there. The last one that we added before that, where did his logo go? We have this show here, which is called Music, Movie, Sports, and Stuff, hosted by Bill Van Vagel, who's also added recently as one of our newer talents. You can check out his shows, or primarily Spotify is what he has it on mostly. We also are affiliated with another show known as Vigilantes Radio Live, with one of our other friends and partners that helped us get this started. We also have an affiliation with that. We have a series of shows called Voices of Fans, which is another affiliate. It's a sports show that features live here in the U.S. And there's also a version up in Canada. Let's see what else we have. One of our newest shows, which I did add on. That's right. We had the Three Amigos podcast, which is one of our new shows that we just added recently, which features myself, my partner I mentioned, Big Hoss there, and another partner, Pagosi, who's there. That's a relatively new show. We started that probably right before, actually, end of summer this past year. Who else do I have on here? I think that's everybody we had added. So those, and plus, in addition, we have, which I'll put it up here. If you go and check us out, there's our backdrop. We have about 10 shows listed on there as well. So all in all, right now, we've got about probably, I'd say just shy of 20 podcasts that we have on the network if you add everything up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And did you ever started doing podcasting like before the network?
Yeah, that's actually where we started. Myself and Big Hoss. We did our shows. We did it by ourselves for a while, which led to, I think I have it on here as well. Maybe I don't. Well, I kind of have a still shot. There's the frame shot that has our studio logo there. That was sort of the original project that we had done. Actually, it spawned from, instead of one show, we created our own production company. We did that. And so we did that actually up until currently. And then once we met our other friends and associates that we started to collaborate with, and then decided we wanted to make this one large network, that's when it sort of morphed into this whole big super collider of different shows, which began to branch out when we had other talent that reached out and said, "Hey, we're interested in coming on board." So yeah, and so about the 3 year period, about 3 years prior to the network is when we started doing podcasting.
Okay. And uh, how did the podcasting start for you, by the way?
Uh, the short end of it, it's a fun story, but the short end of it was, uh, uh, um, when COVID hit, obviously, again, that the initial period when we were all stuck for 3 months, can't go outside, the social distancing,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I had done a lot of, which most people did, a lot of online surfing and different things because there wasn't obviously much else to do. I noticed that a lot of people, again, podcasting wasn't a new concept, but it wasn't one that seemed to generate a lot of interest. I think it really picked up its height. At least for me, in my assessment during COVID, but I saw that like everybody kind of had their own show. Like shows were popping up on everything and anything you could think of, like to the most interesting
Yeah.
shows to some like weird ones. Like every day, people were doing shows about what am I doing right now. So I kind of sat there and I thought, this is interesting because I have a lot of things I could share and I want to say. I hadn't thought
Mhm.
about as a podcast, but when I saw the people doing it, it kind of gave me the idea that I could do this too. But then it led to, do I want to do it by myself? So then I knowing Big Hoss and talking with him, I asked him. We kind of launched that together. And again, he did it before I did, so he had some experience. He had podcasted, attempted to, long before we knew each other. That's really where that bug kind of sat in, and then once we started and we started branching out, it kind of just took off and it grew from there.
Oh, very cool. So let me see. Um, and uh what did you have any favorite memories during your podcast over the years?
Probably some. Well, the obvious ones are we've had a lot of special guests that we've interviewed on the show. We've had a lot of very fun local
Yeah.
celebrity guests on the show. We did that kind of thing, which is always unique. For me, though, the fun ones I like to think about, which a lot of people don't, are the technical difficulties and the glitches that I always say you don't realize what a production looks like until you're on that side of it. Because obviously
Yeah.
people they see the show, they see the glitz, the glamour, they see a produced show that looks good, but they don't see the struggle.
Yeah.
And so I think one of my favorites too is I think it was one of our very first shows where we were just learning how to use streaming software and things like that. It was basically I call it our rough draft of a pilot episode that really was a
Hmm.
buckle up of what not to do and how things can go wrong right away.
Yeah.
From technical glitches to mics not being turned on to cameras not working to the internet dropping. We've had shows where we'd be doing a show and all of a sudden there'd be like a storm going on and we'd have a sudden power outage. I think we
Oh,
had one episode
jeez.
where there was a power outage like right during an episode. So everything just like all the power went out. Uh, so
Dang.
those are some of my favorite ones. I know that seems kind of strange for a lot of people. Like, why would you like to? But those are the early days. You kind of realize, you look back and say, we were all young once and making those mistakes. And, we see from that point to where we are now, how much we've grown and how much things change. So that, and again, like I said, the celebrities and the guest shows that we've had, and even we do a lot of party episodes where we'll play games and stuff. So those are always fun. But those are probably my most fond memories, and we're still making memories, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And what uh what celebrities have you interviewed as regular celebrities, like you mentioned?
So most of them I have reached out to some more famous folks, which I won't share because we haven't had success in booking them yet. We've had a lot of local celebrities. I have a friend who is married to a mixed martial arts fighter who's got a pretty favorable record. We've had her on the show a couple times. We've had a couple local up and coming musicians and bands, artists that I've met through affiliates that have come on that have a pretty fair success. There's a group that's down. I think if I remember correctly, they're based in Texas.
Okay.
Who was nice enough to come on. The lead singer, we interviewed her. That's actually one of my favorite interviews because that did not go the way I anticipated it. It kind of mutated on its own. She kind of took over the show, which was nice. I kind of just said, no, here's
Yeah.
the steering wheel. Go ahead. But and I've also had, from my background, I've studied martial arts for many years. I've had a few guests who are in that martial arts community that have been training for a long time. That have had there's one woman that I met who runs her online school. She's actually located in Thailand. And so that was an interesting episode because we had to coordinate scheduling because she's on a 12-hour difference. So to get her on the same schedule for me it was challenging, but we did it. But she runs like her own successful online school. She's also an MMA fighter as well, so she competes in the octagon and everything too. So which has always been a lot of fun. I'm trying to think who else did we have. We've had through another affiliation, we are getting some local clientele that are coming on that are looking to a lot of musical artists that are trying to get noticed. We've been doing that. We have a sort of a schedule we've been getting to interview those kind of folks. We've had some rappers on, things like that. We are still looking. Like as I said, I've reached out to a few PR people as far as celebrities, like some voice actors and things that have responded. We just haven't had any success yet as far as booking. We're always looking though, so we're hoping that we can expand that repertoire. But the guest interviews they've been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about like any sport players like from the pros, of football or baseball or any of that?
We haven't as of yet. We are hoping though. Currently, as the network has branched off, we've been getting interest from a lot of sports shows. We do have one of our collabs that we have there. I don't know if they've been successful yet, but if they've kind of have an inside track there, we're hoping that maybe down the line we might have a chance to tread those waters, as that saying goes. I don't want to say it too much just to jinx it too, because nothing is official, but we're hoping that especially in the sports category, we've kind of been opening up quite a bit, so we're hoping that will kind of set the tone for the network for those kind of interviews. That's kind of one of our big projects for the future, we'll put it that way. So nothing official yet, but we're trending that way, and I'm thinking that we might see a shift in that hopefully soon.
Absolutely. And so is there speaking of the network, is there a schedule of shows where people can see and know what's coming up?
So we have we're still rough drafting as we're adding talent and we're kind of piecing things in. And we're obviously trying to get things rolling. We've had some snafus with us for our stuff, but typically the baseline of a schedule usually goes. We try to go live with our main show. We have what we call the What's Up Bro show, which is the main show that myself and Big Hoss do. That is kind of the flagship show, one of them. We tend to go live on Saturday nights on YouTube. Now with video, we incorporate now video podcasting. We were always audio, but we shifted gears a little bit because it's kind of trending to video. So we go live. We have our YouTube channel, which we can share links. You guys, if anybody wants to check it out, can. We also have our link tree, which shows our website, which also has the YouTube in there, so you can find it there as well. But we typically go live usually around 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday nights. We are getting back into our recording audio schedule, which what would happen is we would pre-record audio episodes off the air, and new episodes would drop probably sometime on a Friday. We usually drop those on Fridays. So that can fill that Friday night slot. Sometimes we have extra additional shows. If we get booked for a special guest, which we have our calendar up, people can do that. So sometimes there's a show Friday night. Sometimes we do the Three Amigos podcast, which typically runs on a Thursday night around 10 Eastern time. But sometimes we move it depending on scheduling. The sports shows kind of stagger. I know music, movie, sports, and stuff. Bill does his show. I think he said Wednesday nights. He's periodically. He's not every week. But then the other sports shows we have usually Voice of the Fans. We do usually like a Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on schedules. And so everything else kind of is open ended. Again, we're still looking for more talent, and then once we get more people that are interested, then we're going to kind of like close that gap. But that's kind of where the schedule is sitting right now. And again, easy way to do that too, as we tell everybody, is make sure if you find us, follow us, because we do post updates a lot of times when schedules change when we can. That's usually the easiest way. But that's about the usual baseline of when we have what we have scheduled.
And is there any new shows coming up on the network?
We have new shows as in new episodes, or like
New shows in general. Like
yeah. So
brand new.
we have we did actually just do if you guys want, like I said, you can check it out on our YouTube channels there. We'll share the link. We did actually have a special guest interview. What's today? Monday.
Monday, yes.
We did a special interview on Saturday night, which that episode is available on our YouTube channel. You guys can check that out. Got a lot of views, which we appreciate that. This week coming up, today is Monday. We did do a time change. We are going to probably do it Friday night, but we have a new Three Amigos podcast episode which drops this week.
Okay.
We do also have a special one. I do want to I keep forgetting to promote this because this is coming up soon. We are going to have a very special episode on our Three Amigos podcast show coming up just after St. Patrick's Day. We decided to do we're calling it the St. Patty's Day drinking game challenge. So we're going to see which of us can down the most alcoholic drink of their choice. I thought it'd be fun for everybody to watch. That's going to be on March 19th. Since we usually go Thursday night, it'll be the Thursday right after St. Patty's Day. But that's coming up. That's a special bookmark episode we got coming up. So that's just around the corner. I'm not sure about the sports shows. That's kind of up and down. But then again, usually on Saturday, Tuesday, Monday. This Saturday, we should have a new episode of the What's Up Bro Show coming out, which will be live. You guys can check it out on YouTube, on our Twitch channel. We got to get our Kick channel going. We are also expanding on Rumble as well. We haven't tested that yet. But that would be Saturday night. And then we usually get a couple other shows that drop here and there. So it could be a full week, depending on who's available.
Yeah, of course. And speaking of people, why do you think people should join the network that you have running?
It's a great question because we've recently been getting some rebuffing for this, and I understand for a lot of people. I got this questions. We get a lot of similar questions where people don't understand it. I think a lot of it is, I know everybody's trying to make it, and I say this too. You know, when you come on your show, you guys run your shows. We kind of coordinate with you just to sort of make sure we have an idea of when you're going to be on. Like, let's just say, for example, if I forget, what do you usually go on? What nights do you usually go live with your show? Or what do you do?
Wednesdays
So
and
let's
Thursdays.
Yeah, so like we'll say, okay, David, when are you going? Okay, Wednesday and Thursday, you're going at this way. Sometimes if we have to layer like shows, we make sure we don't want to have something running during like your time slot, but we try to like put everything there. But outside of that, typically it's just, we like to have the affiliation because we find, the more of us, I know that the term is safety in numbers. Not so much that, it's the notoriety is there when you have numbers. Like you can when you see one, you kind of recognize another. And we've been recognized based on other shows that have been now tied to us. So I think that's why it's beneficial. But some people, they do want to make it on their own. I can respect that. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. We know. And that's why I wanted to clarify with this too, that how we do it is we don't look to we are obviously all trying to make some income out of it. And I say this, and again, this is something that we haven't, as far as the board goes, we have a group of us that are pretty much like, we run the directives of everything. We haven't talked about those details yet because we're not quite that far. But everything would be shared as far as everybody would get what is entitled to them. We're not looking to like we'll put it this way, just to be blunt, if you will. Like if you're making money for your show, I'm not looking to pick your pocket and take more than, take what's, not fair and what's not equitable and all that kind of stuff. We look at it as we're all sharing and everything, and whatever we all put into it, we all get equal for it. So that's just kind of one area. I think that's what scares people too, because they say, oh, if we join a network, then we give over creative rights, we give over control. You don't. We're not taking anything from you. Again, we're just asking that you want to be a part of us. We will advertise for you across a plethora of shows. And again, we have, as I said earlier, we have several shows, like some friends of ours that have joined with us, that their shows are larger than ours. So that would only help you get noticed quicker, of course. But I think that's what a lot of it is, marketing. And it's a lot of people don't want to, they see it as surrendering, quote unquote, control. where, like I said, I'm not doing that. Your show is your show. We coordinate with you. If you have
Yeah.
questions, like we said, we have, obviously, because you've been a part of it, we have chats for the talent and stuff. So like we do talk. The only thing is, like, when it comes to the bigger decisions, those of us that are selected on the board, which, we open that to, but if you're here long enough and if we feel that you're a good contributor, we can always talk about adding board members. But the board is really what controls the big decisions. That obviously something like if we don't need you to worry about, you don't have to worry about it. But that's really it. So I think, though, that's what scares people, though, is just giving up control. And I'll say it again. I say this to reiterate because that's the biggest key thing, I think, is what we get pushback for is your show is your show. Your logos are your logos. We don't copyright. We don't take anything. We are completely flexible. We will advertise anything and everything that you want us to do. It can even include, which I haven't figured out how this quite yet, but if we get, and I know I've had some of the guests that we've had on the shows are always looking to branch out. Like, we might be able to find you guests for your shows. If anybody who wants to interview guests, like the guests that have done our shows can be on your shows. So again, it's that mutually beneficial, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, which is really what it's all about. So I think people just have a misunderstanding and misconception of what it is, and just think that we're out to be power hungry and steal everything, which is not true. So just for the record, so everybody knows. And I know a lot of people can say, "Oh, it's easy. He's saying that because he's being interviewed there," but that's the truth of it. That's really what it's about. So, but yeah, I think that's why. I think that's unfortunately.
Yeah, I that's I agree with everything you said there, and like he basically is trying to help grow others.
That's
on
it. Yep,
on
that's
the
the main
platform.
goal. Yep.
And by the way, I forgot to ask you this earlier. Have you ever interviewed anybody in person before, or is this all online?
So we did. Most of it has been online. I did do one interview with a friend of mine who I've trained in martial arts for many years. I actually went to the dojo where we train, and I said to him, I want to come out. I had my phone on me. We were doing audio. I was able to, it wasn't the cleanest. And I learned too, it's kind of hard unless you have a studio stuff, which we kind of did later on. This was early days. This is back. But we sat in the room. We got chairs. I put a table, like a little stool between us. I laid my phone out on there because I had the recording studio there. And I basically did everything right in front of us. That was really the only in-person. I would love, and I'll say this: I haven't said this publicly or openly, but I would love if the network thing grows and if we can do this on a more, we're looking to do this more on a full-time basis to be more like creators for content and everything. And if the network grows, I would love to have schedules where, let's say, and obviously if the finances are there, we have an interview with somebody who's in, let's say, New York City, for example. Okay, obviously I'm where I'm at. I'm pretty close. I could probably drive there. But hey, anybody from the network, like for you or any of the other shows, does anybody want to travel out there and do an in-person? Obviously reflect it back on the network so we know it's affiliated. I would love to do something like that. That's kind of I had that on a project thing. That's probably gonna be a down the road, obviously, project. But I would love to expand that and open it. But we just find over the airways is over the internet's easiest for most people, because again, most people have been in the comforts of their own homes. I've interviewed people that are in their own living room or their own in-home studio. And obviously with technology, it makes it very easy nowadays because the technology is advanced. But that was the only interview in person. But I would absolutely, I'm open to it, and there's more collabs. I would love to do more in person because a lot of times you can really capture more of the nuances when you're in person. Like we see a lot on television shows, like you see these TV interviews. So that's a goal, and I would love to see that happen for us down the road.
Absolutely. And do you have any other goals with this network going forward?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think of it as I would hope. I'm sure others kind of feel similar. I feel about it I kind of say it this way, and I'm not saying this to compare me to anybody particular, but just off the top of my head, I would
Mhm.
love to see it as a brand, kind of like Steve Jobs had in mind with Apple, which I'm not sure if that was initially his goal, but that's what happened. Like Bill Gates with Windows, obviously it became like a household brand. Now, whether or not it gets that far, I don't know, but I never like to put a cap on it because we always say the sky's the limit. You never know until you try, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were founders of even I'll go back one further, like Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook. Didn't think it was going to blow up. It was just an idea. So I'd like to
Mhm.
see something along those lines where it becomes sort of a very popular yet very what's the word I'm looking for? Very healthy growing network, and maybe one day, like
Yeah.
obviously I'm not going to be around forever. I'd like to see it take on its own where someone else might take the torch from me one day. And maybe I know I maybe help start the whole thing, but obviously, someone's got to succeed you somewhere down the road. I'd love to see it carry on. And I know some of us have had these conversations. Some of our other friends with some of their projects have said this, and I kind of adapted that to my own personality
Yeah.
is I would love to see it. I want to pass that torch on to someone else who can carry this on like a legacy down the road.
Uh-huh.
Not just because of me or anybody else, but just that it was something that was started on a great idea that others can get excited about and can come on and say, yeah, we can really grow ourselves and we can make this our own thing. Like it's just an idea that becomes an idea into another idea and so forth. So
Yeah.
that's really the only other big goal. I would love for that to happen. One of the other things too, which hopefully will happen again sooner than later, I'm looking at it as an enterprise of more than just podcasts. Like we do offer our own. We have merchandise that we have featured. I'd love to have like a. I kind of call it the Amazon effect. Like we could maybe we get into making artwork designs or making other merch for other people, other folks doing shows, or maybe brands, things like that. Maybe we work with other brands. I'd love to see the business side expand that way based on the network. Obviously, as the front running for that. What was the other project? The other project I've been doing as well, and I'm hoping, for me specifically, I know some of us have this gift of the production role. I would love to see us working with others, like whether that's maybe it's a different show. And I say, hey, like I had a friend. I said, hey, listen, you can run the show, but do you need someone to produce it? He's like, I don't like to do the production. I want to be the talent, but I need someone to run the controls. Well, our network based and our company can help you. We have people like myself. I've put myself out there. Like I could help produce your show. If that takes the burden off of you, then you can just focus on being the talent. Some people like
Yeah.
to do that. So I'd love to see that. And I hope to meet the other thing too is when we look to add talent, like even like for you being a newest person coming on is getting to know like what your skill set are is one of my things is I like to utilize everybody's skills that they have. And that way it gives everybody their own kind of additional job. That's another thing just to keep in mind for anybody interested. Like if you're looking what the network offers is we're like that sports world where we seek the best talent available to utilize their full potential. So maybe if we say, hey, like you want to produce something, I can say, all right, well, David, work closer with me. We'll get you on. And if I can find a show and I can say, hey, this guy wants to produce for you. He's really good at it. He's part of the network there. But if you need someone who can run that show, because again, the other thing too is I don't want us to all be overburdened where everybody's doing too much. Like if we can everybody has a job to do, we contribute, then like the burden doesn't all fall on me to do everything or Big
Yeah.
Hoss or anybody else. And again, that way you're like for you putting your time and your effort in, this becomes part of your network because you're helping us build something. We're building that ship together. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's another big goal I'm hoping. So really, it's just I want to see this be a very positive thing. I don't want people to be afraid of it. Again, I understand people have different goals, and I was saying to I know Bill. You've talked with Bill a little bit.
Mhm.
Bill's kind of been our official. I tagged him as our official recruiter, so he likes to jump into those podcast groups and things and try to recruit people there. And he said to me recently, like, "I'm not getting anywhere. Nobody wants to." Now keep at it. The right ones will come along. I look at it as the right people are meant to come along, and sometimes the wrong ones just don't stick.
Yeah.
You gotta just wait. It's like going fishing. You gotta be patient. The right ones will take a bite. So But I want it to be a positive thing, and I hope that, again, anybody listening, if you watch this too, if you have a show, we want to help you. Again, we're not trying to poach you or do anything that's going to hurt you. We just
Yeah.
want to. We want to make our goal is we take the motto is we want to make the podcasting world great again. We want to make it something special. It's nothing new. Obviously, we're not the first to do it. We certainly won't be the last to do it. Of course, there'll be others after us, but we want to make it special. I like to have, and I don't know if you're old enough, you probably have seen the show, but this movie, Beloved. We want to be the Wayne's World effect. We want to be this this fun, entertaining, something that catches people's views and eyes, and we want to be we would like to have some notoriety for it. Doesn't mean we'd be rich and famous, but we'd like to be like, oh yeah, those guys were like watching Wayne and Garth. These guys are fun. These are party. Like this is entertaining. This is relaxing, and not in a bad way of, oh, this show's all too political or too hard topic. We do get on hard topics with certain shows, but we try to keep it light and very, very laid back and fun because everybody has a rough week. So we want to be that comedic SNL relief, I guess, if you will. That's more probably most generational there. So that's really the hope. And like I said, again, I hope someday someone will continue this on, and maybe if you think about me, great. If not, that's okay. So
Yeah, of course. And that's basically like what I'm doing with my Network 3000 YouTube channel as well. Is my goal is to make it, a huge thing, in the next 5 years or so. I don't really like to be one of those people that have like a 10-year plan, but
right.
it's just a goal of mine because that way I don't have to be the one that one day is control of everything because my goal is to at least set back at least for some of it, not like the whole thing, So
Yeah.
and
and I think that's why, like when we talked, and then when you said to have the interest there, I thought, obviously we kind of we're getting good at knowing when people are like minded and have similar goals. And that's why I think as we talked, and I mentioned that to you, I said I think we would be a good fit because again, our goals sort of agendas line up that way. And that's what we look for. That's the other key thing. Like, and I'll just share this. I want to impart this wisdom to anybody, even if you don't join our network or you do something similar. And not everybody finds somebody like-minded off the bat, but keep an open mind with that. But if you are able to connect, we've been very fortunate, like with you, with Bill. We have found, and again, it's slow growing, but I'm very confident that we have such a talent with all of us that we can really make this. Same like you, I kind of have a plan. I don't put a timeline on it just because time is always hard to kind of nail down. I'd like to see some things happen at certain checkpoints, like when you're racing, there's certain like checkpoints you want to hit. But as long as we're making progress, that's really what counts. But I feel like when you have those unique people and you are able to really bond and connect. And the same thing we said too, the key spice of this cooking ingredient is we are able to all work together where we're not trying to trump one another. We're not trying to outdo one another. We're not trying, and again, a lot of us, we have similar shows, but they're not exactly the same because we're all unique individuals, right? So we just found a way to, like certain animals and wildlife and nature, you found a way to sort of commingle, coexist, and again, achieve common goal, which is what, like I said, we all want to have some form of success, whatever, everybody has different levels of success they view, but we want to be able to put our own thumbprint, our own stamp on it saying, this was our unique thing. I said this on the interview the other night, actually, where somebody asked me this too, like, are you worried someone's going to copy? Listen, I'm the OG. I'm the original. If any of you want to copy me, that's great. You can't be me, though. You can copy me, but there's no one else that's going to be exactly like me. Same like for you. No one's going to – they might do something similar to what you're doing, but they can't be David. You are your own unique stamp, your own fingerprint. So if knowing that, it makes me feel good because at least I can say, yeah, I put my own handprint on it, and I left my mark there. Kind of like they do in the music industry. Everybody wants to create something, but you want it to be you. You want it to be unique. And that's, I'll say this lastly too, as far as the network. I think this is the other question. What also scares people is And joining like with us, the network is just a foundation to launch to people, so they all kind of come. Like we're probably going to do a network page where it's going to have like all the links for all the shows. We're talking about a Facebook page for that, things like that. That's kind of the idea, but it's not meant to take away your unique design. Like for your 3000 is your network brand. We're not looking to change it, adapt it. That's strictly you. You're just a part of us, a part of a bigger chain to try to make you to pump more views and things that way. But I'm not changing your logo. I'm not asking you to do anything that, you know, I might recommend a few things and say, hey, this is just a suggestion. You know, we want to help you learn and grow and all that stuff. But I'm not taking creative control. We don't step in and say, hey, you know, we're running this is that. No, it's you. It's almost like a franchise kind of thing. You're the franchisee. You have, it might be an umbrella of a network name, but you run how you do things. So, which is the core. And we find, and that's important too, because we find that we also don't want to do all the work either. We feel like whatever you put into it, you deserve, because you're contributing by working hard at your own craft. Now, the only thing I say this is where the line kind of blurs a little bit. And again, I want to put this out. This is that disclaimer, as they say. If someone joins, let's say, has a show and they want to come on the network, and if we find that we have to pick up the slack because you're not doing your part or anything like that, whether that's maybe you're supposed to meet a time, like you have a time slot for your show for the week and you haven't done any new episodes, and you know, maybe we're plugging a different show or something like that, we might say to you, listen, if we don't, you know, obviously we want to boot you because you're being more a liability, you're not being an asset here. If we have to do the work for you, then obviously we're going to take the credit because we're doing the work for you. We don't want to do that, though. We say to you, you are responsible for your own stuff. We want to see you grow and flourish, and we'll help you, but we're not like we don't want to do everything for you either. You know, kind of makes sense. So that's really the only thing there. As again, because I think people have that misconception too of, oh, if we come on, then we're going to do everything. No, it's a contribute as you will. So we just want to be clear there. But again, everything else is very laid back. So all these things are really what the vision was when I proposed this idea to the others, which everybody liked the idea. And I said, yeah, I did come up with it, but I drew inspiration from a lot of our friends. We have mentors that are working with us that helped us get started with podcasting, I took little bits and pieces, like taking clips from different books. I took a little bit from everybody to build this recipe for this network. And I'm really happy where it's going. Again, like having you guys and others, new talent that's interesting coming on, really excited about. And we're rooting for you guys there. We want to see you really succeed. And I said, like I tell anybody who comes on, I'm going to do everything within my power to help expose you to anywhere we can. And again, since we've had the new show, we've been growing rapidly. So, you know, things can happen just kind of like that. So, but that's really great. So those are some of the large things that I hope to see from the network there. And then, you know, in the future, like I said, hopefully someone will carry that forward. And, you know, we want to leave our stamp. We want to make something special and know that this was us. And we always say too, if we inspire someone else, that's great. But that's really ultimately the whole preface of this is just everybody to succeed and to grow.
100%. And where can they find you on social media?
So you can go, and actually, since I'll put it up. I have the control here. If you'll indulge me for a moment, this is the easiest way. That's why I kind of did this too. There's a QR code. If anybody wants to use your device, you can click that little QR code above my head there. Which is our link tree. I'm also going to do this. Some of us are old school and we don't know how to do that. On the bottom is the tracker there. A link tree /J_J Production Studios. If you click on that, that will take you. It'll list all of our website. It'll take you to all of our social media platforms where you can find us. We're going to get those running. We've had them down for a bit. We're going to get them up and running again. You can also find all of our audio episodes. We're on SoundCloud and Spotify, iHeartRadio. The YouTube channel is actually there where we're watching. Well, we have this on Twitch as well. That channel is listed there, but where you can find all of these are there. I will share. I have some other links. I don't have them on here. I'm working to edit. I'm trying to get everybody to give me links so I can make this easier to flash on here. But For my socials, which I think, David, you might have, if you want to share those, if you know how to put them on there, you can point people toward my page if you want. My page is not a digital page. For me, for Big Hoss. But that's the best place is the link tree that's there. We'll leave that float there for just a second, give you guys a chance to type it in or scan the code. You can also, we also have through Linktree and also on our website, we have an email subscription option. So if you guys want to be notified when we do release new content, we have some new subscribers that did sign up by email. That's great. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I haven't been on that side of it, but I believe if you do that, anytime we launch episodes, you'll get an email sent directly to your inbox. Just make sure you check your spam folder if you haven't added us in your contacts. But that way, for those that don't have social media, that's a great way to keep up. I know some of the older folks, they don't have social media. They're not up with the times, and that's great. Some choose not to do that, but that's just another way to do that. You can check that out. Also, we have our merchandise stores there. If you guys want to see what kind of goodies we have there, there's all kinds of neat stuff. You can check that out. That's on there. We also offer two other things. We offer a exclusive. We have our Patreon on there. If you guys want to support our shows and get exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else, you can get yourselves a Patreon subscription. It's anywhere from as low. I think our lowest one is a basic one is it's like $3 a month. If anybody's interested, if you would like to do that, we appreciate that. You don't have to. Anything that we have that's monetize wise that you have to pay for, we always tell people we roll that back into creating content. So we don't pocket that directly. We use that to help grow, make more shows, upgrade equipment, things of that nature. So just for anybody who knows where that money goes, that's what we use that for. If you're interested, you can. And lastly on there is our Calendly, which I'm going to have to edit that again. But if you'd like to be a special guest on our show or any of the other shows, we're going to try to open that up at some point. You can book directly there. We love to have people on if you have your own small business starting up, or if you're a musical artist, or if you have your own Etsy store or eBay store, or any kind of small business that's your word of mouth. We'd love to help promote you. We are also looking for sponsors. We have a couple that have just joined on that are, and we appreciate them. Actually, let me do a shameless plug since we're here, because I mentioned that. Now I mentioned it, I said it. And the link tree is there too. One of our main sponsors that is there, which we appreciate. I got to find the photo. Where did I put it? There it is. A local Borgers Rare Coins and Fine Jewelry. If anybody's looking to make some extra cash and you need some side income, which we could all use, you can sell your precious metals there. Contact owner Jeff there at that number listed, 973-390-4606, or visit borgersrarecoins.com. You can't see it because the ticker's there. Proud sponsor for us. We've got a couple others lined up as well. And again, if anybody's interested, we'd love to promote you. But yeah, so really appreciate you guys taking time to view this. And I want to say back, like David said too, we're glad to be here. We're glad to have you. We're looking forward to helping you grow the network there and growing your show. And again, if you know anybody, reach out to any of us. If you are interested, if you thought about starting a podcast, or maybe you have a podcast that hasn't taken off, or any kind of YouTube channel or show, our network is based, our primary objectives are to help people grow and to get noticed. We can do that. You can contact me directly if you want more questions. I know some of the others can help as well. Please don't be shy. You can reach out. I'm happy to chat with you about it to give you more information, but we'd love to have you part of us. We're having an open invitation. Again, we see it as if we succeed, you guys succeed, we all can succeed together. So let's make podcasting, let's make entertainment, really should be the better word. Let's make entertainment great again. Let's do something unique and something special. Yes. So we hope you guys will join that. But I appreciate the support there. Let me turn these off because it starts to get annoying after a while. Again, you guys can check that out. I will share those links again. You guys can check it out as well. But yeah, we appreciate that, and we're looking forward to great things in the future.
Absolutely. And with that being said, that'll be it for this interview.
That's perfect. I will close us out there since I'm on my end channel there. It's going to play our outro out just because I have it set that way. But yeah. I appreciate you having me on, David. Again, you guys make sure you follow. Let me put you up there again just to kind of advertise there. Check out David's show, that 3000 Hangouts. You guys can check it out. You also have your YouTube channel, your links you can share there. So make sure you guys give him full support there as well. And again, appreciate all the support there, you guys. Again, if you've been following us for a while, we appreciate that. Love you so much for that. Stay tuned for many more great things. Again, check us out. The official there, Airway Kingdom Network is the network. You guys can find that. We'll have updated stuff on there as well. See you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Until next time, and we always say it, we see you at the show.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.